Okay. Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Um, Anybody just type in a quick yes if you can. I'm not the most technological person here. Perfect. Okay, good. Lots of yeses are popping up. If you can just turn off your cameras. We have a lot of people on this call, which is awesome, and I'm super excited. And before we actually get started, you guys, I want a minute or two just to let everyone figure out how to join. But in the chat on the side, if you guys can put in if you're an athlete or a coach and what club you're affiliated with. I know last week I had a couple of coaches on the call. I was very excited. So I'm just curious. I feel like I can engage with you guys a little bit more. So just share if you're an athlete or if you're a coach, and then which club you're affiliated with, and we'll get started in like a minute. Very good. All over. Houston, Angelfish, Buffalo Swimkins, New Canaan, Colorado. Ooh, Masters. Nice. Oh, this is exciting. Seattle. Oh, this is great. Yeah, we'll give it another second or two just to get some other people able to join in before we get started. Okay. Well, while you guys are still filling that out on the side, I will give you a little bit of background on me. I know we have a lot more people on the call this time, and so I'm happy. So my name is Laura Eaton. I was an athlete for 13 years. I swam club. I swam on the national team. I swam college, collegiate synchro. And then I started coaching. And coaching, I coach club. I coach national team for about 10 years. I coach collegiate synchro. I coached 5 Olympians. And I just recently retired from coaching actual sport. And now I do full-time mental training, working on mental toughness, mindset. And it's because as an athlete and as a coach, I realized firsthand that if you don't have confidence, you don't know how to handle your performance anxiety, don't know how to get yourself in the right mindset, you won't reach your full potential. Like, bottom line, will not happen. And so that's why I'm so happy that all of you guys joined today, and that you're here with me. And for today, we're really talking about mindset and how to control that. And you guys that were on last week know that I love my quotes and my motivational sayings and inspirational phrases. And so one of my favorite quotes is, rule your mind or it will rule you. And it's the truth. It's the absolute truth that our thinking affects everything we do as human beings. I'm not just talking about athletes or coaches, but as human beings, what goes on up here controls every single thing we do. It affects everything that we do. And the exciting part, we can control that. We have the ability to control our thinking. Let me say that again, that you have the control and the power to control your thinking. And so throughout life, right, we're thrown these curveballs. We're thrown obstacles, challenges. Think about the situation we're in right now, guys. This is a historical event. We didn't plan for this. We weren't prepared for this. And people are always like, oh, think positive, be positive, look for the positive side of things. Okay, it's not that easy, right? You can't just snap your fingers or just flip a switch real quick and, okay, let's look on the bright side of things. And so that's why I'm actually really, really happy that we're all here today, because I want to give you a game plan to figure out what to do when things go wrong, what to do when we're thrown curveballs, obstacles, challenges come in our way, because they do. And we're experiencing it now. And so, yes, game plan. That's what we're doing today. So our first step, our first part of the plan is acceptance. Okay? Accept that adversity, challenges, difficult times, they're inevitable. It's going to happen. We can't stop them. And the quicker we kind of understand that and we realize that in our lives, change is going to happen, struggles are going to happen. But if we have a plan and we're ready for it, we're going to be able to handle those situations better. We're going to be able to know and react the way that we want to. So really, it's just that thought process at first of knowing and accepting things aren't always going to be up, 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 good, good, good. And understanding that and going, okay, what's our plan? So it's first step is simply accepting that things aren't always gonna be good, and understand that. And one of the things, maybe you've heard before, that life is messy. It is. Life is messy. I like to say I want it to be a beautiful mess. That's kind of where I go with it. And so our first step along the plan is acceptance. So once we get to that point, then not thinking good about something, not thinking bad about something, not negative, not positive, but I want you guys to think neutral, right in the middle. Okay? So what does that mean? What does that mean? Think neutral. So it means no emotions attached, okay? And just the facts. That's neutral thinking. So if we're going to go with our current situation, right? So we're on this Corona break. Neutral thinking. What are the facts? Well, first fact, we're quarantined. We're at home, right? We're shelter in place. That's a fact. Can't do anything about it. That's a fact. Second, we don't have any organized practices, right? We can't go to the pool. We can't be with our team and our coaches. No organized training at the pool. Third fact, our events are postponed, right? So you look at the situation that we're given right now, and those are our facts. Quarantined at home, events are postponed, and there's no organized practices that can happen. So when you just have those facts, there's nothing attached to it. But now is the good part. Now is when you're in power, you're in control, and you get to decide what you do with that, where you go from there. And so given the situation that we have right now, you get to take action. So first thing, acceptance that stuff's going to happen throughout our lives, and know that and be ready for it. Second, find that neutral thinking, find that middle ground where we're just talking about facts. Then from there, you take action. And I love it that so many of you are on this webinar because you took action. You realize, okay, this is the situation I'm in. And hey, I want to work on my mental training. I want to work on my mental toughness. I want to learn something. I want to make use of the time. So your first action was thinking, right? Was your thoughts. Okay, I want to learn something. I want to work on, bettering my mindset. And then I'm frozen. There we go. Sorry. I got frozen for a second. And so then you take action, right? And you take action, maybe it's first with your thinking, and you said, hey, I want to get better. I want to learn something. I want to do these webinars. And then you follow it up with movement, with physical action. So you registered, you got online, you're on the webinar, hopefully you're taking notes, as we're going along. And so you're actively participating in that. You chose to think positive. And I want to stop there for a second. And I want you to participate with me. So when I say positive thinking, or I just simply say the word positive, what pops into your head? Just start writing things in the chat. When I say positive thinking, positive thoughts, just the word positive, what do we see? What do you think? I see good, happy, optimistic, plus signs, nice, the circle. That's got to be one of my Lindenwood girls. Support, smile, faith, flower. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. For me, when I think positive, I think excitement. I think energy. I think when I see or think of the word positive through there, energy, new start, resolutions, optimism, bright side, calm. Very good. Good. I love it. So when we're talking about this, right, we get to our neutral thinking, and it's just our facts, and then we're in power. We get the power to then decide which direction we want to go. And when we're talking positive, one of the first things, you guys, is, going in that direction. I said positive thought, and you guys are beautiful listing a ton of different things that pop in your mind when you think of positive. I'm going to give you a little bonus here. So when we're talking about positive thinking, it's the words that we're saying to ourselves, right? The words, the conversations that are going on in our head. And I like to minimize negative words, or sometimes I call them ugly words. And the one that I'm going to challenge you guys to eliminate from your vocabulary, and anyone that's worked with me knows that this is one of my big ones, and I have to do this all the time. I'm constantly having to remind myself and work on this one, is eliminating the word try. So if I said, okay, try and pick up this pen, you either pick it up or you don't. There's no try. And when you say the word try, it gives you room for doubt. It gives you room for excuses. I'm going to try to go to the gym this week. No, I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. It switches up there. And so we're not getting into all the self-talk and all of that today, but I give you a little bonus and challenge you to eliminate the word try. I probably say it about 3 times a day. And when I do my best to stop myself and rephrase whatever it is I'm saying or thinking or doing or planning. But it's really, really impactful, guys. So I encourage you, it's your little bonus for today, take out the word try, replace it. Okay, so we've talked about going back to our game plan. Game plan to handle when things go wrong, handle, challenges, obstacles, situations that pop up, which they will, is first, acceptance. Second, neutral thinking. Just get to the facts. No emotions, no feelings attached to it. And then that puts you in that place of power to then decide which path you want to go, which direction that you want to go. And that, talking about going positive thinking first, taking action with our thoughts, and then taking actions with actual movement and physical activity. So then we get to our fourth one for our game plan. Fourth one is realizing and accepting that, actually finding that gratitude and being thankful for the challenges and struggles that are placed in front of us. Because why? That sounds crazy, right? Why? Because it forces us to grow. And that's what we want. We want to grow as human beings and be the best versions of ourselves. We want to grow and become the best athletes that we can, the best coaches that we can, the best sons and daughters that we can, moms and dads. And the only way that happens, guys, is when we have growth, and growth happens when you're uncomfortable. Being comfortable is great. It feels great, right? It's a beautiful place to be, but there's no growth that comes along with that. So keeping in mind that we need those struggles, we need those challenges in order to grow, in order to improve, in order to better ourselves. And so on the chat on the side, I want you guys, through this experience, write in the chat some way that you have grown during this break that we've had, during this time in our lives. What is some area in your life that has grown through this experience? Learn new software. I am with you on that one. I cannot believe I'm actually doing a webinar right now, and I figured out Zoom and how to get this information out to you guys. It's definitely something I've definitely grown during this time. Organizational skills, spending time with your family, cooking. I made a banana nut bread for the first time. Yep, I'm definitely on the cooking one too. Forcing myself to work on mental toughness. Perfect. Now is the best time. Now we're kind of thrown into this. And it's really, yeah, it's forcing us to have to figure things out, to have to get creative. Baking, yep. Family time, cleaning, sleeping habits. Yeah, so I have 2 children too, and so helping them with online school, along with jobs, like there's been a lot. Patience has been another big one that I feel like I've grown during this time, to let some of the small things and little things slide, and just to be able to have that, breathing too. I think breathing, I've learned that along with my patience. Drawing, school's challenging, learning Google Classroom. Yes, same thing. I'm having to do that with my children too, and it's a struggle. Okay, I'm going to pull up. There we go. So when we're talking about our game plan, right? Game plan. At the beginning, I said, rule your mind or it will rule you. It's the facts. It's exactly what we're learning here, and what we're focusing on is to get into that right mindset. And first thing we have to do, like we said, acceptance that change is going to happen in our life. Obstacles, challenges, they don't go away, but we're going to be ready for them. Be ready to take it on. Be ready to react in the way that we want to. Second, neutral thinking. Just the facts, guys. No emotions attached to it. Just get right down to the simple facts of the situation that you're either in, the challenge that you're faced with, the obstacle that you have, and just be right there in the middle. Then, once you have your facts, you get to take charge. You get to have that power to then do what it is that you want, to go down which path that you want to, and take action. And first, with the thinking, the I gets from last week, you guys, we talked about that with motivation and showing appreciation and gratitude. I get to do this. I get to do that. And doing it first with your thinking, then going on to movement, putting action behind it, putting some fight in it. And then the last one, growth. Realizing and appreciating that, yeah, this sucks. You know, difficult situations, you know, what we're in right now, it's not easy, it's hard. But knowing that in the end of it, you're going to have success. That realizing, and I guess it's more you guys approaching it with an attitude of, if I'm open to learning, if I'm open to growth, if I'm open to change, then that's a stepping stone to your success. Whether we're talking personally, we're talking in the pool, you know, being able to have that growth and understanding that and wanting to chase the uncomfortable it's going to get you there. It's going to get you to success. It's going to get you to be able to handle these situations with the right mindset, going down the right direction, the right path that you want. Let's see. I've got, let me get off of here. See, again, I'm new with all of this. If I stop that, perfect. Someone asked, what does acceptance mean? I just saw that question, I think, on the side. Someone wrote back, knowledge that change is happening. Acceptance in that, yeah, that you're always going to have change in your life. You're always going to have problems are going to surface, that you're always going to have obstacles, challenges. Those are always going to happen through life. They're inevitable. You can't stop them from happening, but you can handle how you react to them. So it's understanding that part of it, meaning that acceptance that things aren't always going to be great, happy, good, positive. That's not how life is. So that's what I mean by acceptance, is understand that there's going to be hard times. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be bad days. But that you have a game plan now to start with your neutral thinking, put yourself in power, in control, to then decide what you want to do. What action do you want to take? Which direction do you want to go? First with your thinking, go in that positive direction, and then put the actions behind it. And then in the end, knowing that even though it sucks right now and you're faced with that challenge or that difficult situation, there's going to be good at the end of it, that there's going to be something that you learn during that process and at the end of it, that there's going to be those stepping stones to success. Also, you guys, if you have questions, throw them in there. I'll do my best. I know there's a lot of people on the call, and that's just me. So I will try to scroll through that. See, I just said try. I will scroll through them the best that I can and answer them for you. And if I don't get to your questions, guys, that please, I have a list of the chat when we finish, and I will email you. I will email you directly, and I will answer your questions for you throughout this week and make sure that I can get that for you. Someone says, have you read Carol? No, I have not, but now I will look it up. Okay, so when we're talking about this, you guys, with our mindset and dealing with difficult situations, and all of this, that I'm going to share something with you. It's personal. I'm going to be vulnerable for a second. And that I consider myself a positive person. I do. I've been following this plan for many years. I smile a lot. I consider myself pretty happy. I look for the bright side of things. I do that. And for about the first 3 weeks of this whole Corona break, I was doing pretty good. I was doing really good. Getting creative, enjoying the time with my family, getting some extra sleep in, all of that kind of stuff. And last week, I had a bad day. I had a really bad day last week, and everything kind of hit me. And I was going through the plan, and I got to neutral thinking, and I had my facts, but I kept attaching feelings to it. I kept attaching emotions to it, and they were negative. And so what I did is I allowed myself 2 hours. I said, okay, Lori, for the next 2 hours, feel all the feels that you want. Attach whatever you want to this. You can be angry. You can be frustrated. I was overwhelmed. I was sad because I was actually supposed to be traveling to clubs and working, with teams and having that interaction and being personal and being there face to face. And I was mad. I was sad. I was upset that couldn't happen. I was frustrated. I was anxious. And I allowed myself that time. I allowed myself to feel all of those things. And I took action. I got my journal out. I wrote. I wrote probably 5 pages. And I just kept going. And I was crying while I was doing it. And it was about an hour or so into it. I was like, okay, I decided I had enough. I don't want to feel like this anymore. I don't want to be miserable. And I decided to move in a different direction. And, later I went to bed, woke up the next day, basically started over again. realized, okay, stuff's going to happen throughout my life, got to my neutral point and decided, okay, I don't want to feel like that anymore. I want to get creative. I want to make the most of this. I want to be able to finish this and get out of our Corona break and feel proud of something that I did. And I'm sharing that with you guys for a couple of reasons. That one, this takes practice. That, excuse me, that anytime we're talking about mental training, mental toughness, working towards that, it takes practice. You can't just look at this and be like, oh, neutral thinking, great, positive, go down that direction. Maybe you can, maybe you will be able to, but it takes practice. I've been doing this for years, years and years and years and years. And then also to tell you guys, it's okay to feel all the feels sometimes. And my suggestion, or I guess my recommendation, is to put a time limit on it. I said to myself, okay, for the next 2 hours, be upset, be mad, be angry, feel all of that. And I recommend putting a time limit onto it. So maybe it's something that's even smaller. Fine. Allow yourself to be mad for 2 minutes and then get over it and decide to switch and go down the path that you really want. Feel the way that you really want to feel. And then also just realizing that this works. When you can stop and realize that stuff is going to happen throughout your life. Challenges are going to happen throughout your life. That this isn't something that's just going to go away, that you're just going to have the most amazing, happy, positive life moving forward. But you have a plan now, that you're ready for it. And when you do this, it works. But the biggest thing that I can stress to you guys is that it takes practice. It takes a lot of practice. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you, be real for a minute, and be honest with you. That yeah, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, you have to stop and allow yourself to feel that, and then go back to what it is that you want to achieve. Go back to what it is that you want to accomplish. I'm going to pull up again. You guys know I have my quotes that I like, and I have one for you for today. There we go. So, struggle is what you go through. Suffering is your attachment to it. So, struggle. We've already established it's going to happen. We're going to have struggles throughout our life. Can't stop it. But suffering, that's your choice. You get to decide if you want to suffer through it. And hopefully you take action, guys. You take action because you realize that you have the power to go the direction that you want, to go down the path that you want. And I'm excited. Like I want you guys to reach out to me if you have questions. I encourage you to go through this plan, to work through this game plan, and play with it. Play with it. Some days, I promise, some days you'll get to that neutral thinking and you'll get your facts and you're going to have a ball. You're going to be successful. You're going to be positive. You're going to quickly adjust. Then you're going to have other days where you get to the facts in whatever situation you're in. And you're going to have a hard time. You're going to struggle like I did last week. And you're going to have to decide which way you want to go and navigate down that. But I encourage you so much to practice this. Practice it, move forward with it. I'm excited that you guys are here. I'm excited to share this information with you. I'm going to go back. I saw a couple of different questions that have popped up. Someone said, what national team age group did I coach? I actually coached all age groups with the national team. 11, 12s, 13, 15s. Majority of my coaching was with the juniors when I did coach. It was the juniors. And I did coach seniors, the senior national team too. But it was majority of the years, I think, were mostly in the juniors. But yeah, I actually coached every age group through there. And actually I remember this was a question that Lily, I believe, asked last week. And I wanted to answer this one. And I think it'll help you guys. And I think I saw a couple other questions pop up that were similar to this one. Lily asked last week, how do you stay motivated when you had a bad day at a meet so that you do well the next day? Really good question. Probably happens a lot. And so my first response for you, or my first direction for you, would be why? Why was it a bad day? Was it because you didn't do well in an element in your tech routine? Okay, why? Ask yourself why a lot. Why didn't I do well on that element? Well, was it because I wasn't focused? Was it because I was distracted? Was it because I got to that element and I was scared and I was worried? Asking yourself, getting to that point and going, why? Why was it bad? Why didn't I do well on my element? What was the reason? And then being able to take that information, use it, and reset for the next day. That's the big thing, you guys, is reset. So, and this could be the same thing that could happen when you're dealing with figures, right? You have 4 figures. The first figure, say you do great, okay? Well, you can't hold on to that. You have to stop, let go of that, good or bad, and reset for the next figure. Maybe the first figure you didn't do very well and you got a penalty on it. You can't hold on to that. You have to reset because you have 3 more to do. And so when you're resetting, guys, whether it's good or bad in that, you have to let go of what happened and be present. Be present in what you're experiencing right then. Be present on that second figure. What's your plan? What do you have to think about? What's your focus while you're doing that one figure through there? Then when that one's done, can't think about it, good or bad, you go on to the next one. So being very present in there. And to help with the motivation, it's what we had talked about earlier, right? Our self-talk. What's going on? What words are we using in our head? So it's not, I'm going to try to do the next figure better. I'm going to try to hold my vertical. No, I'm going to do the next figure better. I'm going to hold my vertical. I'm going to stick to my plan. You have to tell yourself in that matter, your positive thinking. Realize, you guys, that your minds literally go in the direction of your words. Let me say that again. Your mind literally goes in the direction of your words. So it's so powerful what we're saying to ourselves up here. Also, another suggestion, if you're at a competition and, you had that bad day, talk to your coach. Go talk to your coach. Be around someone to remind you of what your plan is for the next day. Remind yourself of positive words that you can say to yourself. Find that, that motivation and that excitement from your coach. Maybe it's a teammate, maybe it's a parent. But I encourage you to find that person or those people that help build you up. So when you have those bad days, which they'll happen, guys, you're going to have them, but the thing is, learn from them, reset, and then you get the next day. Let's see. How do you deal with nerves at a meet? I see that one on there. So many different ways, guys, to deal with nerves at a meet. One of the big ones this is something to understand, that having nerves, having anxiety, realizing what those triggers are, what makes you nervous. When you're nervous, what do? I know for me, when I'm nervous, my palms get a little bit sweaty, that I can feel my heart racing when I get nervous. So figuring out what your triggers are. For some people, they tap their foot. For some people, they might, pick their nails. So my first, I guess, suggestion for you guys with nerves at a meet is figure out what do you do when you start getting nervous, when you start having some anxiety. What is that? What are your triggers? Then once you understand what your triggers are, you can figure out ways to stop them. I know for me, one of my biggest ones is breathing, taking a deep breath. That's one thing that I can control. When I'm nervous, you're going to get the butterflies. My palms are going to sweat. Those are things that are really hard to control. Your body's reacting. So one thing you can control is your breathing. So for me, it's definitely taking a deep breath. I know for the athletes that I coached, we always did breathing before we went out to swim. When I coached my age group athletes, We would all hold hands before we swam, and we would all breathe together, very slow, calm down our heart rate as much as we could, and we would breathe. Positive, what you're saying to yourself. I'll be honest with you guys, today, before I got on this call, you know, I had a lot of excitement. I don't know that I was nervous, but I was very excited to get on and share all of this with you. And the one thing that I said to myself, I was like, have fun. Just go have fun today. That I love this. I love sharing. I love coaching, you know, mental toughness. I love working with athletes and coaches. So remind myself, oh yeah, have fun while I'm on here and I'm sharing and I'm doing this. So when it comes to nerves at meets, there's a lot of different things that you can do, but I would say the first thing for you guys would be to figure out what your triggers are. So then you can start to stop them earlier. So realize my palms start sweating. Okay, I know that taking some deep breaths help. I know that reminding myself of my plan. I know that saying my positive words, reminding myself to have fun, reminding myself I can do this. I love synchro. I love talking to you guys. I love coaching. I love teaching. And then be able to figure out what it is that works for you. Maybe it's listening to music. Maybe it's, I know as an athlete, I, of course, had my quotes. Always had a lot of quotes that I would read when I was nervous. And here, I'll share this with you guys. I had a bear. His name was Lucky. Just a small little bear that went to every single competition with me. Even when I was on national team, even when I was in college. This bear I got when I was in age group, and it went with me everywhere. And I didn't realize it at the time when I was younger, but before, every time I competed in any event, whether it was team, solo, figures, whatever, I would take this bear and I would put my head against its little head, and I would talk. I would talk to it, which I was really talking to myself. Didn't realize it at the time, but I was talking to it and basically pumping myself up. Going over what my plan was, giving myself positive feedback, positive words, positive self-talk. And I did that every competition. I did that, like I said, from age group all the way up until college. People probably laughed at me and maybe even made fun of me as a college athlete and on the national team with my little bear and you know, talking to it before I swam. But that's something that definitely helped me. And as I got older, I realized that it was my self-talk before a competition that worked and what really helped me with nerves and that. Let's see. What's some other questions? Oh, someone said how to, so a lot of questions with stress at competitions, meet stress, things like that. But yeah, I mean, it comes down to, I guess the other thing I would suggest for you guys is to come up with your routine. When you have a routine, it helps calm you down. And so, like I said, for me, my routine was right before I swam. Actually, two things I'll share. One, visualization. Huge. That definitely helped calm me down. If you guys have done visualization before, have not, if you go to my website, I actually have on my blog, there's a 5-step, basically 5 steps to visualization for any sport. And I highly recommend it. So I would do visualization. And my big thing was I would always make my mom drive me to the pool where the competition was the day before or even earlier that morning, so I could see the pool. I could see and have an idea of where I would put my stuff, where I would be warming up, where I would walk out, where I would get my scores, where the judges would be seated. I would always go and look at that. So then later that day or that night, I would visualize. I would visualize myself sitting in the corner with my bear, with my head down, talking to the bear, what I was going to say to myself. I visualized myself walking out, doing my routine, getting my scores afterwards. And that definitely helped calm my nerves. It definitely helped me feel more confident and more prepared when I was at a competition. So that was my routine. I did visualization the night before, the morning of. I would visualize my figures before figure competition. Same with tech routines, all of that stuff. Visualization was a huge part of it. And then talking to my bear, lucky, before I swam, basically just self-talk, pumping myself up. I also, there were points and times in my career where I would do music too. I would listen to music and certain songs that would either calm me down when I needed it or pump me up when I needed it. In different competitions, I required some different things. If I wasn't very nervous and I needed to pump myself up and get a little bit excited, it would be a certain type of music. And then if I was a little too excited, a little too anxious, heart pumping a little too much, a different type of music to kind of calm me down in that. But it's really finding your own path, you guys, and then finding a routine within that. A routine that you can do as an age group swimmer, a routine as a, collegiate swimmer, as a national team athlete. Trying to finding your routine will definitely help calm your nerves and allow you to focus on what you need to accomplish. Let's see if I have time for one more. There's so many. And you guys, like I said, if I didn't get to your questions today, which I know I won't because there's a lot on here, that I will definitely email you back throughout this week and answer them. What team age group did you coach? I coached the Columbus Coralinas when they were around Indy Synchro. I grew up in the North Zone, so I coached all different clubs, all age groups. I coached novice all the way up to Olympians. And so literally, you guys, everything, beginners, all the way up, to the highest level, to Olympics. And within that, the one thing that I can say, and that's why I've retired from coaching artistic swimming. That's why I've retired from sport coach and just work mental toughness and mental training now, because of the importance. Because if you don't have it, if you don't have confidence, you're not going to reach your potential. You're not going to get your full talent. It won't happen. Same with handling anxieties and fears and getting into the right mindset and having a game plan up here that you can work your verticals and your skills in the water as much as you want. But if you're not going into a competition feeling confident, feeling prepared, knowing that you've done your best, knowing that you're going to put it all out there, it doesn't happen. And it's the same, as a coach. I realized that as a coach, that if, I wasn't educating myself, if I wasn't building my confidence as a coach, asking, finding mentors, asking people, to help guide me, asking people, hey, give me some feedback. I don't have all the answers, but if I didn't do that as a coach, I wouldn't have reached the success that I did as a coach. So just knowing all levels athlete, reaching all levels as an athlete, reaching all levels as a coach, understanding that, the mental toughness, the mindset, it's all there. I'm going to pull up really quick, you guys, there we go. I'm going to pull up my email and my website again. So if you haven't, I suggest go to the website, pull up, it's under there, my blogs, pull up the visualization on there and play with that. Use it, start exploring that. Again, it takes practice. And that's the thing with all of mental training, it takes practice. It's not just a magic tool. It's not a snap of the fingers and all of a sudden you're going to have all this confidence and you're going to visualize everything beautifully. It takes work. But I promise, trust me that it works. This makes the difference. It's a game changer. And so guys, email me, please, please, please. I had people email last week. They sent me their target worksheet and a couple other people asked me some questions. I love it. I got back to you guys. I want to be a part of your journey. I want to help you. I want to answer questions. Like I said, I will definitely pull up the chat on here and I will email you guys back directly the questions that you had or the answers to the questions, if I didn't already get to them in today's session. And then, yeah, remember, same time, same place next week. We'll talk about moving forward. Where do we go from here with our Corona break, with what might be ahead of us, not knowing what's ahead of us. So I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Make sure you register because the space is limited. And yeah, please reach out to me, email me. You can contact me, email or through my website. Otherwise, have a beautiful week and I will see you guys next Monday. Bye.